What's up guys, hope everyone is doing good. So today I'll be talking about how I plan to afford my dream car using YMAX. So what do I mean by that is that I plan to basically pay for my car loan using only my portfolio. So instead of getting into a car loan and using my hard-earned money from my 9 to 5 income, I want to be able to afford this car using only my portfolio, so I want my passive income to pay for that car. And in the past months, I've been doing some scenarios with ChatGPT just to keep myself motivated because currently I'm kind of broke. I'm just throwing all of my money into my portfolio and I'm not really letting myself any money to enjoy life because I know that I'm sacrificing short-term enjoyment for my future. Just a quick note, I almost got into a car at the beginning of the summer. I put a deposit and then I just thought about it and I was like, fuck that, man. I called the guy. I was like, hey, I'm not getting the car. And the salesman was like, oh, I thought you were getting it. You put a deposit. I was like, no. And he was like, okay, no worries. And he just refunded me my $500 deposit. But just to show how close I was, I actually put the deposit and I just kept thinking and thinking. I was like, it's so fucking dumb, you know? Putting a deposit on the car, then getting into a $600 a month car payment plus insurance plus everything plus maintenance when I could just dump that down payment in my portfolio. So I ended up dropping 20k into YMAX over the past month and a half. And now every month I'll be taking around $3,000 from my 9 to 5 income and throwing that into YMAX. Okay, so let's get into the numbers. So first of all, I played around with ChatGPT. I gave ChatGPT all the data for the YMAX distributions since YMAX has been weekly. And I told him to give me 3 numbers, one being the mean, one being a moving average based on all the numbers, and one being another number that he thinks is appropriate based on a statistics forecasting model, which is simple exponential smoothing, which I have no idea what it is, but it gave me 3 numbers. For the sake of the video, I used 17 cents flat just to be even more conservative. And yeah, ChatGPT was saying that this third number here is the more conservative one. So yeah, I've been using 17 cents flat. And for the price per share, I'm using $14. So I just pushed this up 50 cents just to make it a bit more expensive, just to keep the forecast a bit more conservative. So I live in Canada, so I converted everything into CAD. So here the YMAX data. So currently I used a $14 price per share and my FX rate to convert US to CAD is 1.36. So it's about $19.04 per share. And then for the weekly distributions, I put all the numbers that ChatGPT gave me here. And the conservative number that I'll be using is 17 cents. So in Canadian, basically $19.04 per share and 23.1 cents a week in distributions. This is before the withdrawal tax. So if you're in Canada and you receive US distributions, there's a withholding tax of 15%, so you actually receive 85% of the distribution. So I included that 85% here in my weekly income forecast. So that is taking into consideration. All right, so let's start by the M5. I freaking love this car and I want one so bad. It's a V8. It sounds like a monster. It looks like a monster. It's a beast of a car. So I just took a random one here in my area. This one has 80,000 kilometers. It's priced at, with tax included, it's priced at $88,000. I asked ChatGPT what was the yearly maintenance on this car. Some websites say $500, some say more. I just bumped the number up to $1,500 a year. I mean, I'm a car guy and I know that these cars are expensive to fix, but I also know that you don't fix them often, they're pretty reliable. So I know it's just more expensive to do an oil change on an M5 than it is to do on a Toyota Camry. So just taking into consideration, I would only do oil changes and basic maintenance for the first, for the beginning of the ownership. It wouldn't be that too expensive to own. So let's just say $1,500 a year in maintenance, a down payment of $10,000. So the loan amount would be $78,000. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, in Canada, currently the interest rates at dealers are almost 9%. So yeah, I asked ChatGPT basically what's the formula for the monthly payment. And I just plugged that into the Excel sheet. So for a 16-month loan period, my monthly payment for a loan of $78,000 would be $1,600 a month. And then the maintenance, if I divide that by 12 to make it monthly, it's $125. So my total monthly overhead for this car would be $1,750. Not too bad, honestly, for how crazy this car is to pay this much for it. But I find it stupid to just work and pay this instead of having your passive income pay for it and then being able to use your 9 to 5 income to invest more and feel safe, you know? So currently I own since I dumped like 20K in YMAX and I already owned some shares before and I've been building up now, I currently have 1,150 shares of YMAX in my portfolio. So in June, I haven't invested in June yet, so I'm planning to invest like in the next week before the month close. I invest every single month regardless of the market conditions. So in June, I have 1,150 shares. My plan is to invest $3,000 flat of my own money. And then on top of that, whatever YMAX pays me, I'll reinvest. So 3K flat plus the drip, basically. So this is here. So every month I will buy 157 shares with my 3K from my personal contribution. And this is a floored mat, basically. So it's full shares and I round it down. And what is happening? And for the shares that are dripped, what I do is I do the YMAX monthly income here divided by the price in CAD every time. And this is floored as well. So this is how many shares I could buy just with my YMAX distributions every single month. And here the percentage of the car payments covered. So what am I saying? So my YMAX income, monthly income divided by the monthly loan. So currently, with my current shares right now, I could cover 56% of the loan. And essentially that's what I'm doing here. So here 1,150 plus the shares I bought, plus the shares that were dripped. Now at my next month, I would be at 1,358 shares. So basically that's the math behind my sheet. Nothing too complicated. I just think it's cool to show you guys this because I'm sure a lot of you guys here are car guys too. And we love cars, but we don't want to spend our hard-earned money on a fucking depreciating asset. So yeah, I think it's cool to be able to pay for it without having to worry and having a cushion. So the point is, like, I'm not going to buy the car here as soon as I'm able to actually afford it. Like, I should be able to cover the full amount, like, inside of October or November of 2025. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in about 4 or 5 months, I should be able to afford the car. But that's not the point. It's because YMAX is not 100% stable, and it's the distributions, they're always fluctuating depending on if there's a holiday, if the group that paid this week didn't have crazy distributions, then your YMAX weekly distribution might be low for a few weeks, and it might be higher for other weeks. So you don't want to rely on 100%. I think you need cushion. So when you're at like 200% or 150%, that might be like more smart, more comfortable. But I think that at 200 or 300%, it would make more sense, because the point is, once you build passive income, you don't want to throw your passive income into a car and then you're stunting your portfolio's growth. You know, you want to keep investing. So I think the smartest thing to do is go at maybe 200%. Use half of your YMAX distributions to drive your dream car, and the other half of it you invest it, plus the 3K a month plus the 9 to 5 money that you're able to throw in every month in your portfolio, essentially. So yeah, that's my plan. So it's not because I'll be able to be here that I will actually buy the car, but it's just cool to know that I actually can afford it. And like my passive, I'm driving a freaking rusted ass car right now, and if I see a guy drive next to me in an M5 and he looks at me and he's laughing at me because my car is rusted and he's also young, I know that I'm not freaking working. Like, I could buy his car right now and pay for it without working. So that makes me feel better about myself, and I just think it's pretty cool. So yeah, now this is the M5, which is a freaking cool car. Now let's go for the Audi S3. This is the car I almost got into. I almost got into a 2021, so it was cheaper, but this car is cheaper than the M5. So just to give you guys more, like, maybe you don't want to spend that much money on a car, you know? This one is $63,000 tax in. Same thing, 10K down payment. Here, yearly maintenance, it's definitely cheaper. If you know cars, you know that the Audi S3 is basically a Golf R inside an Audi shell. So the parts and the parts, like, if you go to the dealership, you're gonna get raped, but the parts for the car are basically Golf R parts. So you can cheap out on the maintenance here. With this dealer had an APR of 8% instead of 9%, so I plugged that here. 60 months loan, same thing. So I brought everything to the monthly frequency, and this car right here is $1,141 a month. So if I use the same strategy with the same data, 3K a month, I should be able to afford this car at the end of July, which is pretty crazy, but I'm obviously not going to because I want my portfolio to compound. But yeah, like as you can see, like if you go for a Civic or a cheap car, you know, like it doesn't have to be super expensive. You can afford your dream car pretty fast. So yeah, this is pretty motivating. Like let's say I go for a Honda Civic, brand new or like very low mileage, $35,000, 10K down. Let's keep the maintenance high, even though it's not as high. That would be 506, like 580 a month. Like I'm already covering more than that with my YMAX payments, but that's pretty. I don't think it's smart to use it this early. I think you need to compound your passive income to at least 2-3K, to at least very close to what you're able to contribute on your own to start using your distributions. You know, personally, I feel bad taking out money from my portfolio if I'm not generating at least 2.5 to 3K a month. So I'm kind of halfway there currently. I'm at $900 just with YMAX. I have other positions, but my other positions, I want them to compound. And since YMAX is weekly, like I have the flexibility to like use my distributions 1 week out of 2 or 1 week out of 4 every month. So I just like the fact that YMAX is very flexible on the weekly distributions. And I have a lot of shares of monthly paying lower yielding ETFs that also do covered calls that are around 12 to 14% yield. And these ones, I just want to let them compound to the infinite because these ones, they have a lot of growth and income potential. So I do not want to touch these ones, but I want to be really aggressive with YMAX. And YMAX, I would allow myself to use the distributions to enhance my lifestyle, pay for things, essentially cover my expenses. So I feel comfortable not using my 9 to 5 income to live my life. And instead of working to live, I could just work for the passion of it and feel like have a cushion, and I won't feel pressured, and I won't be scared about people getting laid off and all these things. And I think that this is why income investing is so popular right now. It's just crazy. Like the job market and the job market for a lot of fields right now is very bad everywhere in the world, and it's very competitive. People are getting laid off. People are scared for their financial security and their financial future. So I think that's why there's so many young people that are getting into income investing and that are doing these things like that. And I think it's pretty cool. But the thing is, you guys have to realize, if you're watching my video, like you're in the like 0.001% of people who even know about YMAX and the potential of income investing. A lot of people, they just invest into growth, and a lot of people around you, they don't even invest, or they don't barely have savings, you know. So just be blessed, you know. Even if I have 1,000 shares of YMAX, and that's not crazy, you know. I see some people on Twitter who have 5K shares, almost 10K shares, and they get paid my bi-weekly paycheck every week with YMAX, you know. It's insane, the potential of this thing. And everyone has their own level, you know. Maybe you just started and you don't have shares yet, and whatever. So anyways, guys, hopefully this video was interesting. I just wanted to do a video on this because, I don't know, I'm always doing research and creating those forecasts and scenarios for my own pleasure, so just for fun. So why not share it? Maybe there's some other crazy people who will see this video and just listen to it in the background while working or whatever. Like, it might be interesting for someone else who's been thinking the same, like, oh, what if I just invest all my money into YMAX until I can build a good cash flow and then buy my dream car, instead of buying my dream car and then being debt and then worrying about paying my bills every month and not having money left to invest. You know, it's better to build your portfolio first, delay the gratification, delay that cool car, wait a year or two if you want. Like, if your car is really broken down, get yourself a beater, get yourself a cheap car for a year, and then when your portfolio is there, and like basically buy stupid stuff with your assets and spend your hard-earned money growing your assets, and then use the cash flow that your assets generate to buy stupid stuff. So this is what I think is the smartest way to spend your money. Anyways, guys, hopefully this was interesting. If you guys want me to share this spreadsheet, feel free to comment. I'll just post it in the comments if someone asks for it. I'll probably share a link that is read only, so you guys can just go and file and make a copy and then play with the numbers, plug in whatever car you'd like to afford or to own, and see where you're at. And yeah, I'll put this cell in this one as well. But you can plug in your starting shares. If you already have 3,000 shares, for example, it's going to adjust the share count and affect the compounding. You know, I'm currently at here, so this is what it would look like for me if you're starting from scratch. Even if you're starting from scratch, as you can see, it still compounds super fast, and in less than 2 years you'll have 4K shares of YMAX, which is insane. So I mean, you just have to start somewhere. Like, don't overthink it, just start investing month after month and you'll be set for life. So anyways, guys, take care.